welcome to my Scrappin space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Southwest Wisconsin. And I'm here to share Boho Vibes. Gives off great vibes. It's a suite in the new annual catalog. What do you say we get my face out of the way and we look at this suite? So you can find this suite on page 61 of the annual catalog. Begins here. Gives you a bunch of great ideas for what you can do with it. And then here, it shows you what's included. And I'll show you the products, but it has paper, dies, a stamp set, some fun embellishments. And then here, this catalog is full of ideas. And here, it's giving you some ideas of what you can do with this pattern paper. So my suite board shows everything included in the suite. This is made for me by a team member, Amy, and she just does such a great job of pulling it together. So these are the papers, and they're 6x6 papers. I'll show you the actual size. I love these embellishments. They're just a little softer. I've been using them on lots of cards. But look at this. We have a 4-year-old granddaughter who is all about rainbows. She has a rainbow themed room. She wants t-shirts with rainbows. Yeah, I need to get a card made for her and send her with the rainbows. And then this is another way to use the rainbows by just putting print paper behind it and lots of different fun cutouts. So then the stamp set is here. Look at these sentiments. I always look at the sentiments first. Hello, thanks. We're going to use thanks on the card tonight because I need thank you cards. Sending good vibes and darling. I think darling's going to have to go on Vivi's card. And then some other images that you can stamp. Here's a close-up of those really pretty embellishments, aren't they? And you know, there's a wide variety of colors here. I can see this using this for baby cards, for birthday cards, for masculine, for feminine, for, you know, it's just, yeah, so much. Okay, let's look at the papers and then I'll show you the card we're going to make. Again, they're 6x6. There, and on the back is a more subtle for each of them. So like you could trim, I could see trimming right around here, fussy cutting and sticking it in the corner of a scrapbook page. Maybe just attaching here so you can stick a picture or a note underneath that circle. Look at that pretty one in the back. This is kind of fun, isn't it? And that on the back. These are really, really versatile prints. You can use them for lots of things. Ooh, check out this one. That's fun. And there's the back. We're actually going to use that one tonight. And this one, again, you could trim on the sides and use on part of a card. This might be my favorite. I didn't use it for our card, but you will be seeing me use it. And I also really, really like this one. I felt that kind of, depending on how you're looking at it, reminded me of landscape. And then look at this on the back. Okay, so let me show you the card I made. I need thank you cards. I am a volunteer for Caring Crafters in our area, and the group makes amazing, obviously crafting, there's their name, for our local hospital and nursing home. So there's a group of them that sew, and then there's a group of us that paper craft, and they always need thank you cards. So if I'm making cards or samples, I try to make a thank you one so I can pass it on to them. So I've added to this a die cut that came from the suite, also in the annual catalog, called Kintsu Inspirations. And this is Secret C, one of our new in colors, and the beautiful faux linen ribbon that goes with it. Okay, so let's look at how we're going to put this card together. Here's our pieces. And it's on Daffodil Delight, which is one of the colors here. And I know it's one of the colors because Stampin' Up helps me out and puts those colors on the paper pack. So we have a Daffodil Delight card base. All the measurements, the supply list, and the directions are on my Scrappin' with Joni blog. Let's give that a nice fold. And then we're going to make the card front. So we're going to build the card front on a piece of, I went with basic beige. You could have gone with white also. Notice that something's missing. I die cut my tag from the center because we're going to cover it up anyway. So I just cut that and I stamped it with Secret C with the thanks that came from that stamp set I just showed you. Okay, so this is going at the top and there's clearly an up or a down. So we want to put that together. I'm going to be embossing this, so if I'm going to be embossing a card front, I usually try to avoid the multi-purpose liquid glue, because when you use the pressure of the embossing folder in the cut and emboss machine, that glue is going to, if there's any extra, it's going to push out on your card front. So instead, this is what I'm doing. I am just putting tear and tape all the way around. That's going to hold my papers in place, and I'm not going to have it come out. We don't want this one, we want this one. So this is going at the top, and I need to kind of turn it so I get it correct. And I'm just going to line that up, and you'll notice that this is slightly longer than I need. And I do that because one, it serves as handles, but two, when I'm lining it up, I only have to line on one edge. I don't have to also try to get it to line up here and here and along the top. Just, I'm all about easy. And it's such a little bit extra that I wouldn't have used those little pieces anyway, so I'll trim it. Then I cut the stripes. I want them going up and down, and they're going to fit right against there. Oh, and I cut it wrong. Does that ever happen to you? Let's grab another piece of paper. Wow. We're just going to take this off. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen that way. But we have a paper cutter right here, and we can quickly cut it. I'm just going to pull it off, and we'll cut again. So my paper needs to be 3 3/4, and I bet I cut that 3 1/4. Yep, that's what happens when you're working late at night. And okay, so my card front is 4. So I'm going to cut it slightly wider. I'm just grabbing a piece of that. And we're going to cut it 3 3/4. And maybe a little longer, just for insurance sake. There we go. I still have a lovely piece I could use for something here. And then I'm going to go 4 1/4. Because as I said, that little extra piece just means I only have to line up on one edge. Let's see if I did better. No, guys, it's just paper. I did the same thing. It's 3 3/4. Oh, sorry. Just so you know, it's only paper, and we all make mistakes when we're cutting sometimes. Okay, shall we try again? 3 3/4. There we go. And about 4 1/4, which some it's going to get trimmed off. And third time's the charm. We got it. Yeah, guys, it's just paper, and we all make mistakes. Okay. Now I'm going to line this up here. I want the yellows to kind of be on the end to pull in the yellow of that card base. Oh, look at that. We got it right. Okay. Now we're going to trim. I'm going to get this extra paper out of the way. I'm just going to grab a paper snips. You could also use your paper cutter, whatever works for you. But we're going to get this down to the size of our card mat. And see, I really went longer with this one just to make sure. Oi, oi. There we go. Just like that. And like this. Now, when I have 2 pieces of paper joined like on here, one, I always do something as a transition, and I'm going to do ribbon. But the other thing I like to do is emboss. I just feel like that brings the 2 pieces of paper together. If I don't have it quite even, the embossing helps cover that up. So I wanted something as just a background. I didn't want the embossing folder to take front and center. So I grabbed birchwood. Have you seen this one? This has been out a little bit. And as you can see, it just has a kind of, almost I would say, a gentle overall pattern. So I'm going to line that up here. And this one uses plates 1 and 4. Let's make a little room here and grab the cut and emboss machine. And we're going to grab plates 1 and 4. All right, we're going to move this thank you right here so I don't lose it. There we go. Plate 1. My embossing folder. So I have 1. I have the embossing folder, fold first, and plate 4 is going on top because we always have a plate on top, whether we're embossing or die cutting. And then we're going to run it through. Just like that. Oops. And it's a little noisy. Now, my embossing both papers with that same embossing folder, it says, look, we all go together. Then I'm going to add my Night of Navy ribbon. My rule of thumb is roughly, if I'm tying a knot, which I'm going to do here, I don't have a bow, I'm going to go 3 times the width. If I'm tying a bow, I go 4 times the width. So this is 4 inches, so 12, maybe 13 for good measure. And we'll trim that up. And then I'm going to use tear and tape. That tear and tape works beautifully with this ribbon. And I'm just running it right over that seam. Okay, and we're going to tear it. Then we're going to put the ribbon behind. And before I take that backing off, I'm just going to make sure I have it roughly where I want it. And what that means is if I put these 2 ends together, yeah, see, they're not quite, it's going to be harder to tie it. So we're going to just move it over. There we go, we're good. So then we can take off the top of the tear and tape. It's going to hold it in place. It's going to actually help us hold it in place too while we're tying that knot. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to lay it down and just catch it there. And then catch it here. And tie a knot. Now, as you can see, I have more than I need, but I have arthritis in my hands and fingers, and so having it slightly more just makes it easier for me to maneuver. There we go. And I'm going to knot it again, like so. And I'm going to pull it pretty tight. Then I'm going to trim. Do you have a ribbon scissors? This, I call it a ribbon charm. I'm not sure what it is. It was a gift from Stampin' Up a number of years ago. And I keep it on this scissors. And I've only used this scissors for ribbon. And the charm reminds me when I go to grab it and I'm going to trim paper, like, nope, this is not the one I use for paper. And it keeps it sharp. So it just makes it easier to trim ribbon. There we go. Okay, that thanks that we were putting up here so we didn't lose. I'm going to grab a couple dimensionals and add that. Probably 2 would have been enough, but oh well. I'll grab the backings off of there. And this is going to go right here. I think this is a perfect paper for thank yous because it doesn't matter who you send it to, this paper is going to work. There we go. All right, let's grab our card base. And again, as you can see from the back, pretty heavily embossed. This is, look at, that's a spot where I cut out this. Wouldn't even know. And let's grab some multi-purpose glue. Multi-purpose glue is always going to work better on an embossed surface because it gets in the crevices, like where it's not flat. It's going to still help you adhere. And notice I'm being pretty generous with the glue, but I'm not going too far to the outside because I'm going to push that down on the card front. And when the glue spreads, I don't want it to spread to my card front. So that's going to go here. And look at that. That says boho, doesn't it? There you go. Now, remember those really fun embellishments? Let's see where I have managed on this short time to misplace them. Here they are. I grabbed yellow because I was kind of going with yellow, but really, a lot of the green would work. The blue would work. Look at all these colors are in these stripes. So you could grab whatever works for you. I'm going to stick with the yellow. I really like the yellow. And I think it really pops on this blue. There's something about blue and yellow together, isn't there? So I'm going to start with one up here. I'm going to do odd numbers, 3 typically. And I like to put my 3 in a roughly triangular shape, which just means one is hanging out by itself and the other 2 are closer together. There's one of them. There's one of them. Now, clearly, if you didn't need a thank you, you could put happy birthday. You could leave a sentiment off the front. I have basic beige for the inside, and I have a little scrap of that paper. I probably have a lot of scraps now since I cut it wrong twice. And we're going to put just a touch of glue here at the top. There we go. And then this is going here. Look at those stripes on there. It just says everything's coming together here. And we'll trim it up. And attach that to the inside. Just like so. That little scrap that you would have thrown away just brings this card together. And so we know, right, that we're not sending this out in just a boring blank envelope. Like really, that would be sad to send this fun card out in just a boring envelope. So I have a scrap of 2 1/4 by 6, and I'm going to attach it to here. But I want to point out that this is the top of the paper, so I don't want to put it upside down on my envelope flap. Well, now as soon as I say that, I would have done it upside down. The starburst is going out. So you want the top of your paper at the fold. There we go. We have clearly done a lot of creating today. I'm almost out of this glue. I'm putting glue all the way around. It's less important in the center, though. I throw some there because I want the paper to be really adhered to the envelope flap so it doesn't get caught in, like the postal machine doesn't grip a corner of it and rip off my envelope flap. Ask me how I know. There we go. Now we're just going to trim this. Oop, not with my ribbon scissors, though. That's why my reminder's on it. We're going to trim it with this one. Paper can really dull your scissors, and so by keeping one set just for ribbon, it's always going to be sharp for you. And that's just easier to use. There we go. Oh, there's so much we can do with this paper pack and the pieces of this suite. I love this suite. There we go, folks. There's our card. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. If you liked what you saw, please share it with your crafty friends. And until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good.